Happy Earth Day, everybody. It's April 22nd, 2020. Miss Wright here with my little friend Kinsley. Say hi, Kinsley. Hi. Hi. Okay. Kinsley just wanted to give a little shout out. She's going to help me turn the pages of the book. Since it's Earth Day, we're going to read a book called The Reasons for Seasons. So we're going to hear a little bit about Earth and why we have 4 seasons. So get your listening ears on. Kinsley's watching you. And we're going to get started. Here we go. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. These are the 4 seasons of the year. The sun warms the surface of the earth, the planet that we live on. The tilt of the earth in relation to the sun changes throughout the year. This is what makes the seasons. Each season lasts about 3 months. 4 seasons make a year. That's how long it takes for Earth to rotate or revolve around the sun. As Earth circles the sun, different parts of Earth are closer to the sun than others. This affects the amount of light and heat that we receive. Earth is slightly tilted as it turns on its axis. It makes one full rotation every 24 hours as it moves along its path around the sun. When the North Pole is tipped towards the sun and the South Pole is tipped away, it is summer in the Northern Hemisphere and winter in the Southern Hemisphere. 6 months later, when Earth has traveled to the other side of the sun and the North Pole is tipped away, it is winter in the Northern Hemisphere and summer in the Southern Hemisphere. The seasons of one hemisphere are always opposite of those in the other hemisphere. Spring. In the Northern Hemisphere, spring begins right around March 21st. This is the season when more sunshine causes cooler air to be replaced by warmer air. In the Southern Hemisphere, autumn is a beginning. Do you like spring, Kinsley? Me too. The first day of spring is called the spring equinox. When spring begins in the Northern Hemisphere, Earth has moved along its path so that the sun is directly opposite the equator. On this day, the daylight and darkness are the same length of time over the entire Earth. In ancient times, some people celebrated this day because it was the beginning of the growing season. Spring is the season when some birds that have been away for the winter return again. This is called migration. Some whales migrate too. Some animals that slept all winter wake up and look for food. Spring winds are good for flying kites. It is a season when everything seems to come alive again. The trees grow new leaves, the flowers are bloom, and some crops are even planted. Slowly, the days in the Northern Hemisphere become longer because that part of Earth is tilted more towards the sun. We see the sun higher in the sky. More direct sunlight reaches the ground for longer periods of time. Summer begins in the Northern Hemisphere about June 21st. The Northern Hemisphere is tilted more towards the sun than any other time of the year. It is the warmest season, and in the Southern Hemisphere, winter is in beginning stages. The first day of summer is called the summer solstice. It is the longest day of the year. On this day, we see the midday sun at its highest point in the sky. The hottest days of the summertime take place after the summer solstice because the earth keeps absorbing more heat. Flowers and plants grow under the warm sun. Many animals are busy raising new families. What about you, Kinsley? What about you? In the summertime, people have fun outdoors. They can go to a beach, swim in a lake, read under the shade of a big tree full of large green leaves. During summer, daylight is longer. We see the sun high in the sky. It might still be daylight at bedtime. The nights are shorter. Autumn. Autumn begins about September 21st in the northern hemisphere. It is the season when the air starts to get cooler. The leaves of some trees turn to beautiful, vibrant colors and fall to the ground, which is why some people call this season fall. In the southern hemisphere, spring is the beginning. The first day of autumn is called the autumn equinox. When autumn begins in the northern hemisphere, Earth has moved along its path so that the sun is directly opposite the equator again. On this day, daylight and darkness are up at the same time of year over the entire Earth. Since ancient times, some people have celebrated this time of year because autumn harvests. Some birds migrate to warmer climates. Animals prepare themselves for the long cold season to come. Children go back to school in many places. It is the harvest season. Farmers gather their crops, and there are country fairs too. The air becomes cooler because the northern hemisphere is tilted farther away from the sun. The days grow shorter and the nights become longer. We see the sun lower in the autumn sky. In the northern hemisphere, winter begins about December 21st. This is the time of year the northern hemisphere is tilted farthest from the sun. It is the coldest season of the year. In the southern hemisphere, summer is beginning. The first day of winter is the shortest day of the year. This is called the winter solstice. On this day, we see the midday sun at its lowest point in the sky. In early times, the first day of winter was celebrated as a festival to honor the light, to keep away darkness, and to hope for the sun's return. The coldest days of the winter come after the winter solstice because Earth keeps losing the heat it gained in the summer. Leaves are gone from most trees, and there aren't as many birds. Some animals sleep all winter. That's called hibernation. Often it is very cold. Now, Kinsley, do you hibernate in the winter time? Do you hibernate in the winter also? Okay, we'll turn the page. That's what you do best, huh? It may be time for ice skating, skiing, and making snowmen. Some people wear winter coats, jackets, mittens, and hats. Sometimes it's nice to stay indoors. During winter daylight, it's short and the nights are long. We see the sun low in the sky. Sometimes it is dark, even before dinner. I think Kinsley's excited about that too. Areas near the equator have little temperature change during the year. These places are hardly affected by the tilt of the Earth. Instead, the seasons are marked by alternating rainy and dry periods. 2 rainy and 2 dark seasons each year. Each day at the equator, daylight and darkness are almost equal. What do you think? Do you agree? At the North Pole and the South Pole, it's always cold. When a pole is tilted farther away from the sun, it is winter. During parts of the winter, the sun never appears over the horizon. It is always dark. When a pole is tilted closer to the sun, it is summer. At times, it is always light. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Year after year, the seasons repeat themselves. Earth and many relationships to the sun are the reasons for the season. Do you agree, Kinsley? Well, that's exactly what it is. It's the reason for the season, and that's why we're celebrating Earth Day today. Yay, Earth Day. You all enjoy your day. It was nice spending a little time with you. Miss Wright and Miss Ward miss you all so much, and you all have a wonderful day, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.